Hey guys, Jason here with the Word of the Wise. Just touching base. I've been really busy. Um, just trying to keep everything rolling smooth at work and everywhere else. So the main thing I want to touch on is I love watching a lot of Days of Noah's channel on YouTube, DAZ, Days of Noah. Points out a lot. Here we are looking at media, looking at politics, looking at markets, and you see, keeps everybody tied up. There's a lot of rumor mill. And none of that stuff seems to come to fruition, waiting for XYZ, you name it, it's on the table. But they're just being patient. They're keeping us very tied up. And here we are rolling more and more and more into wintertime. And winter affects half of the country. And it's kind of like that map. If you remember the day before tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the little catastrophe movie, they had that map, like you got to get below this zone. And it's like that kind of map. Not to mention, I believe the guy that helped write that movie, if you go into the history of some of the producers and directors and writers, one of those guys was in that movie Communion. It was about him, where he was at a cabin somewhere in the Catskills or somewhere, and he had lost time, and so he wrote like an autobiography called Communion, and I believe Christopher Walken played his character, but that guy in that movie helped write this, and he talked about communicating with these other beings. Really deep movie. My brother read the book, and then he watched the movie. I remember looking at him, and he was in tears. He was just so freaked out. He was younger, he just watching it, just listening to Christopher Walken. But I digress. So that map that's in the movie, it's like, everybody who's above that, when you get closer to November, December, and a lot of things come about naturally, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of the woodwork in that time. And what we're waiting on is a lot of things have to move in certain directions to go. If you want to go digidollar, if you want to go into passes and things of that nature. And of course, old man Joe's going to be at the helm as we go into that. So imagine that it's all going to be a blame game. Oh, we need to do something. Of course, nobody's doing anything now as everything seems to be slowly spiraling, but I'm sure it's going to speed up a lot more in the coming days, weeks, months, hours, minutes. Anything's possible, but people that are talking all this extreme, just imagine if it never goes to the extreme. And it's just putting a lot of little laws and rules and dimensions in place that, oh, well, I'm sorry, because of A, B, and C, we got to move with X, Y, Z. And unfortunately, either you're willing to go on board or not. I'm trying to be very discreet here because I don't want to have these movies. I'm still trying to go back into my past and filter a lot out. So they don't have these kind of things, you can say with word games and all that jazz. So just a word of the wise is touching base. I'll be back, and I'm just waiting. Anything can happen. How the spirit moves, how the world moves. There's a lot of things that are always in motion. So just a word of the wise, guys. God bless.